Hello, everybody, and welcome to your gentle yoga practice. As you know, my name is Steph, and I'm here to guide you. And before you get comfortable, make sure you have some props handy. Maybe it's a yoga block, maybe it's a bolster, maybe you get creative and steal some cushions off the couch. And when you are ready, begin to soften into a shape that feels restful. Maybe that means coming to seated, maybe that means laying down. Taking all the time you need to wiggle and adjust. Maybe you tuck yourself in with a blanket. And when you are ready, allow your eyes to get heavier, maybe choosing to close them all the way as you begin to connect to the natural wave and cycle of your breath. Choosing to pull your awareness inwards as you experience and observe each inhale and each exhale. Maybe as you follow your breath, you begin to notice little pauses in between. Maybe you begin to notice a pace or a rhythm that you're holding. Does your breath sound really soft and quiet? Or is it more audible? Does it sound smooth? Or does it sound a little choppy? How does your breath feel? What sensations come up as you breathe in and out? Beginning to allow the world around you and your thoughts to just melt away as you stay right here, right now with your breath. Maybe you begin to notice your breath slowing down. Maybe it becomes more expansive and you fill yourself up deeper and deeper. Finding this strong connection with your breath so that you can use your breath as a tool to bring you back each time thoughts float your awareness away. Together, let's take 5 more inhales, 5 more exhales, and I'll be here to guide you back when it's time. Allowing yourself one more big breath in stillness. And when you've emptied out all the way to the bottom, you can begin to flutter movement back into your body, whatever feels good. When you feel ready, your movements can grow, taking up more space with the body. Maybe offering yourself a full body stretch. And together, can we meet laying onto our backs with a bolster or a cushion handy? Drawing knees in towards chest, hands on your shins or back behind your knees as you hug yourself in really close and give yourself a rock left and right. Massaging your low back down into your mat. Noticing how it feels as you rock hip to hip. And maybe you play with pushing your knees further away from the body and notice how sensation shifts and changes. Maybe you do one rock with your knees further away and then slowly draw them in closer. One more breath. As you come to stillness, plant your feet down, walk your feet open really wide, arms are relaxed as you windshield wipe your knees. Swaying your knees left and right. Choosing maybe to take your time here, allowing both of your knees to drop all the way down before you move to the next side. Coming to stillness, begin to walk your feet in hips distance, but scoot your heels in a little bit closer towards your bum. Choosing to either press your hands down into your mat beside your hips or finding robot arms with your fingertips pointing up. Let's begin to roll through a few bridge poses. Inhale, lift your hips high. Exhale, slowly melt yourself back down. Choosing to move with your breath here. Inhale, slowly lift up. Maybe as you find that pause in your breath, you find pause in your movement. Exhale, take yourself back down. Using containment of the core to keep your knees from moving further away from each other. And maybe as your hips lift up, you think about drawing your knees up towards the top corners of your mat, keeping your spine really long here. Let's go one more time, as slow as you can go. As your bum comes back down, begin to reach for your bolster or your cushion. Inhale, hips lift up, slide your prop underneath your sacrum, the place between your low back and your bum. Feet are about hip distance here. And as you settle onto your prop, can you rock your shoulder blades onto your back body, widen through heart center, and flip your palms up. Tapping back into your breath here. Maybe you lower your gaze onto your chest and you watch the rise and fall. Maybe this allows you to feel more anchored here. You can choose to keep your feet hips distance, or maybe you begin to take the soles of your feet together and open up your knees wide. Knowing that you can control the amount of sensation that you're feeling by how close your heels are in towards the body. If you'd like less sensation, slowly walk your toes further down your mat. As you add more sensation into the body, can you use your breath to try and calm the body down? finding a steady, slow inhale and a really relaxed exhale. Choosing not to breathe just into the top of the chest, but fill yourself up all the way down, deep into your belly each time. Feeling your breath move in and out for 4 more cycles. On your inhale, slowly guide your knees back up towards your ceiling. And from here, begin to walk your feet open as wide as your mat, but pop just your toes off. From here, begin to allow your knees to get just mildly heavier. Feeling sensation to the outside of your hips as well as the inside. Maybe sending a big breath to a sticky spot that you're feeling. And now let's switcheroo. Start to point your toes in towards each other, popping just your heels off of your mat. And then drop your knees in towards each other. Maybe you squeeze your inner thighs together. If you notice that your mid-back begins to arch up towards the ceiling, can you gently tuck your tailbone under to keep the length of your spine here? Arms are in any comfortable shape. If you find the mind is focusing on discomfort and sensation, maybe you place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly and feel the movement of your breath. Reminding yourself here that you are in complete control. And if you'd like less sensation, you can allow your legs to get softer here. There's no need to squeeze them together if you'd like a little bit of ease instead. Let's find one more inhale and one more exhale. You're slowly wiggle your feet back to hip distance. And one by one, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrapping your hands around your shins here. Maybe walk your hands further down your legs, hugging closer towards your ankles if you have the space. No forcing allowed. And you can choose to stay here if it feels really comfortable or juicy in your body, or you can open your knees down towards the armpit sides of your body and walk your hands up your legs for an expression of happy baby. Choosing to keep space here between your shoulders and your ears. Maybe that means you gently lift the back of your head, lengthen your neck, and place your head back down. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Choosing to take this shape in every shape of our practice, moment by moment, not rushing through. As you release your hands and hug your knees back in, step your feet down. Take your time as you land here. Find a pause, a little reset. Before you lift your hips, slide your prop out of the way and slowly come back down. Extend your legs long on your mat. And let's find a full body stretch, reaching your fingertips far away from your toes. Exhale, let everything get heavy. Slowly draw your knees back in towards your chest. Keeping one arm back behind you, begin to roll off onto that side and press yourself up to tabletop. Taking your time as you get there, planting your hands down underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and your toes are either tucked under or the tops of your feet pressing down. As you inhale, begin to tilt your pelvis forward as your belly drifts down towards your mat and your gaze lifts up. Exhale, rounding from tailbone all the way up your spine. Chin comes into your chest. Moving like a wave. Inhale, floating forward. Exhale to round. Maybe as you float forward, thinking about sweeping your heart through the window of your arms. And maybe as you exhale and round, you think about lifting the back of your heart all the way up towards the ceiling, pressing into each and every fingertip. Moving through 4 more cycles, present for all of the sensations that move in and out of your body. And if you find a place that feels a little stickier, I invite you to stay there for an extra second or two, maybe a breath or two. Once you have finished your 4th round without a moment of rushing, open your knees wider, take your big toes together, and melt your bum back towards your heels. You can choose to walk the front of your body down onto your mat into child's pose, or maybe you add your bolster out in front of you for a supported option. Whatever would allow you to feel most restful. After you've wiggled your hips back as far as they want to go, can you resist the urge to continue forcing them back and allow your body to find ease here? Really allowing yourself to sink down and seep into your mat. No need to hold yourself up. If you've chosen to rest onto one cheek, maybe you begin to switch now. Inhale to press into your hands and slowly lift yourself up. Move your props out of the way if you've chosen to use them. And as you reset yourself in tabletop, can you extend your right toes back behind you? Exhale, pull your right knee in towards your chest and step your right foot through between your hands. Wiggle your toes forward as you slowly begin to walk your hands up your right thigh. Gently pressing both of your hips forward equally, finding a place that feels just a little sticky. Checking in with your left knee. If it's uncomfortable, maybe you untuck your toes and notice how that feels. Giving lots of length in your spine here, like someone is pulling a string that is attached to the crown of your head, while also pressing forward, feeling the sensation through the top of your left thigh into your left hip. Reminding yourself that there's no need to race here into your deepest expression. Can you take your time? The slower you allow yourself to really sink into a shape, the deeper your body will naturally want to go. Let's just take it slow, one breath at a time. Let's find one more really sticky breath in and out. We're almost there. Slowly take your hands down to your mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left and give your hips a really good wiggle. Finding stillness, right toes are tucked under now as you extend your left leg back behind you. Exhale, left knee in towards your chest. Step your left foot through. Wiggle your toes forward a little bit further before walking your hands up your left thigh. Squaring off your hips. Maybe noticing how your right knee feels. Maybe you untuck your back toes. If you're not feeling sensation, you can wiggle your left toes forward. Alternatively, if you feel too much sensation, you can scooch them in closer. Let your body and the indicators and the messages you're receiving guide your practice. Maybe mentally reminding yourself that there's no race here. Let's just sink slow. As sensation builds through thigh and hip, maybe you can release unnecessary tension somewhere else in the body. Maybe in your fingertips or in your jaw, or maybe you're holding a scrunch between your eyebrows. Let something go. Let's stay for one more breath. Taking your hands down. Step your left foot back And give your hips a sway. Maybe you drop figure eights. Maybe you take a cat cow. What would feel good? As you find stillness, I invite you to tuck your toes under and slowly begin to walk your hands in closer towards your knees. Maybe you choose to keep your hands down here if you're feeling lots of sensation in the feet, or maybe your hands come onto your thighs. If you'd like more sensation, sit all the way back. Holding the shape, but not holding our breath. Let's find 4 more fluid cycles of breath. Palm wave flowing in and out. Holding space for you here in all the sensation you're feeling. If you have lifted, take your hands back down. Walk your hands back out to a tabletop shape. Untuck your toes naturally and give them a bit of a tap onto your mat. Finding stillness here, tuck your toes under and slowly begin to lift your knees as you pike your sit bones up and back into downward dog. Finding a generous bend into your knees as you press your sit bones back further and further. Maybe you pedal your heels. Maybe you sway your hips. What would help you feel less sticky here? Bending into your knees, generously look forward and begin to tippy toe your feet up to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Widen your feet, toes pointing forward. Bend deep into your knees, grab onto opposite elbows, and allow your body to just sway here. Rocking left and right. Crown of head dripping forward. Maybe you feel some gentle decompression in the spine here. Maybe you feel some warming sensations in the low back. You can choose to continue swaying here, or you can release your hands onto the back of your legs, maybe onto your calves or your thighs, whatever is most comfortable. Chin slowly moves in towards the chest, keeping this long line in the body. Releasing your hands all the way down onto your mat. Walk your feet open even wider and pop your toes off of your mat. Heels stay on as you lower your bum down between the window of your legs into a Malasana squat. This is a really high sensation shape. So notice if you'd like to support yourself. Maybe a block on highest height underneath your sit bones. Maybe you stack a few. Maybe you take props under your hands to give yourself support as you find lift. Reminding yourself here of the steadiness of your breath. And maybe allowing the steadiness of your breath to wash over the body as you find steadiness in the mind. Trusting that this discomfort that we're feeling will melt away soon. And we have the freedom to come out whenever our bodies say enough is enough. Slowly bring your hands down onto your mat. Lift your sit bones high and walk your feet in about hips distance once again. Hands stay down as you step your right foot back. Lower your right knee down and begin to walk your left hand to the inside of your left foot if it's not already there. If you have the space, begin to walk your right knee back into lizard pose. Very similar shape to what we found in a low crescent shape. Maybe notice the sensations feel really similar. Reminding yourself that you were able to breathe through sensation the first time. And with grace, you can do so again. You can choose to stay just as you are. This is a great option, and maybe this is the best one for you. Or you can choose to lift your left hand and open up your left knee as sole of left foot begins to peel up. The more you press your knee open, the more sensation you will feel. Maybe you begin to walk yourself further right as your left hand opens up your left knee. What feels right in your body? Closing up through your left knee, take your left hand down, step your left foot back to meet your right in tabletop, and let's once again lift into downward dog. Freedom to find movement or stillness here, whatever your body is craving. Maybe a bit of both. Bending into your knees, look forward, tippy toe your feet up to meet your hands at the top of your mat, folding forward. Choosing to stay just as you are, or maybe choosing to walk your hands onto the back of your legs once again. If you feel like you have more space to move into, maybe you take your hands underneath your feet so that your palms and the bottom of your feet find connection, and the tips of your toes graze your wrist creases. Looking to find sensation here through spine, through back of legs, without forcing. without the need to rush any further. If you're choosing to find contact with hands and feet, begin to release one at a time. And as your hands come down, step just your left foot back, land your left knee down, and begin to scooch it back until you find a reasonable amount of sensation in lizard. You can choose to keep your right knee hugged in really close, or you can lift your right hand and open your knee up. If you have the space, maybe your left hand walks further left. Right knee closes up, both hands return onto your mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Give everything a good wiggle here. You can here, let's rock over to one side onto our bottoms. Grab your bolster or your cushions as you find a comfortable V shape with the legs. It does not have to be super wide. Bringing your props out in front of you. As you find length here first. And when you're ready, begin to hinge forward from the pelvis. Maybe resting your chin onto the top of your bolster like a kickstand. Maybe resting your forearms down. Maybe resting the front of your body down. Whatever you have the space for today. Choosing here to either tuck your toes back towards your face or to point your toes forward here. Keeping your legs engaged to keep your knees safe as you stretch through the hip. You find yourself getting really tense here, can you remind yourself that it's okay? That there is no ultimate goal of getting your nose down to the floor. Our only goal is to create a little bit of space in the spaces we feel stuck. So if you feel tension and sensation and stretch, you're holding exactly where you're meant to be. Are you still here, staying with your breath, or have your thoughts drifted you away? Maybe your next inhale floats you back. Use your next inhale to slowly lift yourself back up. Move your props out of the way before you use your hands to help close up the legs, giving your legs a generous wiggle. From here, let's bend the knees, stack your feet wide, and take your hands back behind you as you windshield wipe, just like we did laying down. Choosing to move slow so that both of your knees can come all the way down as far as they want to go. One more time in each direction. As you find stillness, walk your left shin out in front of you, parallel to the front edge of your mat, as you zigzag your right leg back behind you. You can choose to keep this zigzag shape in the body, or if you have the space, you can drop your right knee, pointing it down as you straighten your leg behind you into pigeon. One option is not better than the other, but one may feel better. Choose the one that feels better. If you are with a straight leg behind you, maybe you play with adding a kickstand, taking a block beside your left hip bone, keeping yourself square and centered here without all of the added work. You can choose to stay upright, or you can allow your body to melt down. Maybe you bring your bolster out in front of you. Support yourself however you need to so that you can find a bit of calm in this shape. Watching your breath as sensation moves in and out. Once again, allowing the steadiness of your breath to wash over the body and to wash over the mind. If the space that you have landed in feels sticky enough and comfortable enough to stay just as you are. If you're looking for maybe more sensation, begin to bend and straighten your right leg. Maybe a lot, maybe a little bit, whether that's out to the side or up and down, depending on if you're in a zigzag or if you're straight behind you. Knowing that this bend and straight could be a half of an inch, just until you feel something fire up, and then drop it down. Choosing stillness or movement for just 2 more cycles of breath. Once you've completely released your exhale, press into your hands, lift yourself up, lean over to the left so that you can swing your right leg in front of you. Take your hands back behind you and begin to windshield wipe. The first few may feel extra sticky, that's okay. Let's just move slow. And when you're ready, your right shin will come forward and your left leg will zigzag back behind you. Noticing how it feels on this side, you can choose to stay in your zigzag, or maybe begin to straighten your left leg back behind you, top of left foot and left knee both pointing down. You can choose to stay upright to the chest, or you can choose to slowly bring yourself down, maybe with the comfort of your prop. Maybe you take your block behind your right sit bone and give yourself that kickstand. If you feel your breath get shorter and more shallow, maybe you take a sigh breath out and release all the air that you have trapped inside of you. And give yourself more space for a great big inhale and a reset back into your steady breath. Noticing if your breath is getting quicker and if you're trying to rush out of this shape. Can you choose to slow yourself back down? Breathing any faster will not make time move any faster. And the slower your breath, the calmer your mind will feel. Last 3. Now, where you are feels sticky enough, please stay just as you are. Or maybe you begin to bend and straighten through your left knee. Feeling sensation intensify and then release back out. Last breath. As you press into your hands, begin to lift your chest. Kickstands out of the way as you lean to the right and swing your left leg up in front of you. Straightening both of your legs, give them a good shake. Really allow everything to loosen back out before you come to rest onto your back. As you find your back body, pull your knees in one more time. One hand top of each knee as you begin to draw circles in opposing directions, drawing your knees away from your body, back in towards your belly and up towards the ceiling. Maybe playing with how sensation feels by drawing your knees further away and then scooping them in even closer. And now let's circle in the other direction, creating balance in the body. Last circle around. Hugging knees back in as you walk your hands onto the back of your thighs and kick your toes up towards your ceiling as you point and flex through your feet. Maybe it would feel really good to spread your toes wide, creating sensation to the arches of your feet. The next time your toes flex back towards your face, let's pause here. Walking your feet open wider as you inhale, spin your toes in towards each other. And as you exhale, open them out wide, creating these figure eight shapes with the feet. Inhale, toes point in. Exhale, toes point out. Inhale, knees roll in, toes roll in. Exhale, knees wide, toes wide. Maybe you allow your feet to walk really wide and then come in almost to touch. One more time, going out wide. One more time, coming in towards each other. Resetting, knees to chest. And from here, let's find any final movements your body is craving. Maybe you begin to grab some props and slide a bolster underneath your knees. Maybe laying down onto your back doesn't feel very restful, and you choose to come to seated instead. Our only goal here is rest and comfort and relaxation. So take your time as you get there. As you come to rest into stillness, Allow your eyes to get heavier and heavier as you once again pull your awareness inwards onto your breath, the sound of your breath, the sensations of your breath. Watching all the little parts to keep you right here, right now. Knowing that I will be here to guide you back when it's time. Slowly moving deeper and deeper and deeper into stillness. Giving yourself one final cycle of breath in stillness. Before you begin to wake yourself back. Maybe choosing to remind yourself that these last few moments of your practice are just as important as the first few. And maybe you choose to take them mindfully, choosing not to rush out of your practice, keeping some of that calm you created for yourself. Knowing that you have the option to stay laying down in a restful shape, or you can begin to transition to seated as we seal our practice and our time together. Sitting tall, relaxed through the legs. Inhale, fingertips sweep up as you gather all the energy, prana you cultivated on your mat. And with an exhale, pull in towards heart center. Taking this time to thank yourself for carving out this time to rest and restore yourself and to connect back into your breath. It has been an absolute pleasure to guide you this evening. Thank you. As a reminder, my name is Stephanie. I'm here for any and all questions, comments. Please do not be shy. And if you're heading out, I hope you have a very restful sleep, and I hope to see you soon.